Have you ever stood in the middle of a busy airport surrounded by glass walls, bright lights, and endless announcements and thought to yourself, "It's just an airport, a place to wait. Overpriced coffee, long moving walkways, crowded gates. Everything feels familiar, harmless, almost boring, but the truth is airports are anything but ordinary. Behind those clean floors, perfectly placed seats, and calm-sounding announcements lies a carefully designed system, one built to observe, guide you, and quietly control your behavior, step by step. You think you're just charging your phone. You think you're slowing down because you're tired. You think you're just another anonymous traveler passing through. But you're not. Airports are filled with secrets. Some are clever, some are unsettling, and a few are so well hidden that airlines hope you never notice them. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're revealing the airport secrets. Airlines don't talk about the subtle tricks, silent systems, and calculated decisions happening all around you while you rush to catch your flight. And stay with me until the end, because there's one final detail, a bonus insight that could completely change how you travel forever. 1. The seat that's watching you. Picture this. You're late for your flight. Your phone battery is dying. Your stress level is climbing by the second. Then you see a free seat near the security area with a charging port right next to it. Perfect timing. Perfect luck. Right? Wrong. That seat may actually be one of the most monitored spots in the entire airport. Some seating areas near security checkpoints are deliberately placed in what experts call surveillance hotspots. Hidden cameras, built-in microphones, sensors quietly collecting information while you sit there scrolling through social media or answering messages. You think you're charging your phone, but in reality, you might be charging someone else's intelligence file. Every sigh, every frustrated phone call, every angry rant about a delayed flight, all potentially recorded and analyzed. Airports don't just move people efficiently, they observe behavior, especially in high-stress zones like security. So if you're about to lose your temper over lost luggage or a long line, maybe don't do it right next to the TSA kiosk. Big Brother might be listening. And here's the unsettling part, you'd never notice it. No warning signs, no blinking lights, just quiet observation happening in plain sight. 2. The carpet that controls your mind. Have you ever noticed something strange after passing airport security? One moment you're moving fast, almost rushing. The next your pace slows down for no obvious reason. It's not your heavy bag. It's not exhaustion. It's the floor beneath your feet. Airports use a psychological trick called cognitive friction. Right after security checkpoints, they intentionally switch the flooring from hard tile to soft, cushioned carpet. Why does that matter? Because that subtle change disrupts your brain just enough to slow you down. Soft surfaces reduce your walking speed without you realizing it. You become calmer, less reactive, easier to manage. Slower passengers are easier to observe, easier to screen, easier to move through controlled spaces. This isn't about comfort, it's behavioral design. So next time you find yourself shuffling through a plush airport hallway, remember this, you're not just walking. You're being gently guided, quietly managed, and strategically slowed, all without a single sign telling you so. And once you realize that you'll never walk across airport carpet the same way again. 3. The free water that isn't safe. You've just cleared security. You're hot. You're tired. And your water bottle is completely empty. Then you spotted a water fountain. Free hydration. A small win. Or so it seems. But hold on. That fountain might be dirtier than a gas station bathroom. Multiple studies have shown that many airport water fountains go weeks without proper cleaning. We're talking about mold bacteria biofilm, The kind of stuff you definitely don't want inside your body. Now add this to the picture. Hundreds of travelers pressing the same button every single day. After touching suitcases, handrails, bathroom doors, and security bins. Suddenly, that free water doesn't feel so free anymore. Yes, buying overpriced bottled water at the airport feels like a ripoff. But in this case, you're not just paying for convenience, you're paying for safety. Your immune system will thank you when you land. 4. You're not as anonymous as you think. You might feel like just another face in the crowd. Another boarding pass. Another carry-on bag. Another seat number. But at an airport, you're rarely invisible. Airport staff often receive advance information about certain passengers' VIPs' frequent flyers, and yes, people who've caused problems before. Notes can follow your profile from one trip to the next. So if you once lost your cool at baggage claim, or argued loudly at a gate, don't be surprised if you get a few extra glances the next time you travel. Flight attendants and gate agents aren't just there to smile and scan tickets. They're trained to observe behavior, assess risk, and quietly report concerns. It's not personal. It's protocol. Still, it might make you think twice before having a public meltdown at the airport. Some impressions don't disappear as quickly as your boarding pass barcode. 5. Your luggage goes on a secret mission. You check your bag, watch it roll away on the conveyor belt, and assume it's simply heading toward the plane. But that's only the beginning. Before your suitcase ever joins the pile of luggage on the tarmac, it goes on a solo high-tech mission behind the scenes. Every checked bag passes through an explosive detection system machine so powerful they can scan deep inside your belongings. Not just what's visible on the surface, but what's hidden between layers of clothing and inside objects. Advanced imaging, chemical sensors, shape analysis. All of it happens in seconds. These systems aren't judging your souvenir choices. They're making sure your socks, shoes, and toiletries aren't hiding something dangerous, and they do it long before your bag ever gets close to an aircraft. So the next time you wave goodbye to your suitcase, remember this: it's being inspected far more closely than you are, and it never even knows it. 6. How airlines sell a seat you already paid for. You arrive at the gate. It's crowded. The overhead bins are full. Then you hear the words, "No traveler ever wants to hear." We're looking for volunteers. Welcome to overbooking, one of the most calculated tricks in the airline industry. Airlines routinely sell more tickets than there are seats on the plane. And no, this isn't a mistake. It's intentional. They know based on years of data and algorithms that some passengers won't show up. Most of the time it works. But when everyone does show up, that's when chaos begins. Passengers get bumped. Confirmed seats suddenly turn into apologies and compensation offers. And here's the uncomfortable truth: it's completely legal. Airlines aren't trying to be cruel. They're trying to maximize profit on every flight. And sometimes that means selling the same seat twice and hoping statistics will handle the fallout. So if you've ever wondered how a confirmed ticket can still leave you standing at the gate, now you know. 7. The secret words you're never supposed to notice. Most people think that if something serious happens on a plane, the crew will announce it immediately. They won't. When a passenger becomes critically ill, or even passes away, mid-flight airlines avoid alarming the cabin at all costs. Instead, they use coded language. Phrases like Jim Wilson or Operation Sunrise may sound completely harmless to passengers. But to flight attendants and pilots, those words signal something very serious is happening. Why use codes? Because panic spreads fast at 35,000 feet. And calm is part of safety. These codes allow the crew to coordinate, respond, and manage the situation discreetly without turning a difficult moment into chaos for everyone on board. So if you ever hear something oddly formal or strangely specific over the intercom, it might not be routine at all. It could be a quiet emergency unfolding just a few rows away from you. 8. The ATM that steals from you legally. You're at the airport. You need cash. And there it is, an ATM, right next to your gate. Convenient, right? Not exactly. Airport ATMs are notorious for sky-high fees, terrible exchange rates, and sneaky fine print that most travelers never read. In some cases, a single withdrawal can cost you 10% or more of your money. And if you're using a foreign card, it's even worse. These machines are placed exactly where you're most likely to use them when you're rushed, tired, and out of options. It's not an accident. It's positioning. Here's the smarter move. Withdraw cash before you arrive at the airport, or better yet, use your credit card for purchases once you're inside. That quick cash grab might be far more expensive than you expect. 9. The filth you're sitting on at 35,000 feet. You settle into your seat. The tray table looks wiped. The seat belt clicks into place. Everything feels clean. But it isn't. Airplanes are essentially flying petri dishes. Hundreds of people from all over the world breathing, coughing, sneezing, and touching the same surfaces flight after flight. Between most flights, planes don't get a deep clean. They get a quick surface wipe. That's it. A full, thorough cleaning. Maybe once a month. That tray table you're eating off of. Studies have shown it can be dirtier than a public restroom stall. Seatbelts, armrests, window shades, all touched thousands of times, cleaned far less often than you'd expect. That's why experienced travelers always pack sanitizing wipes. A quick wipe down before you settle in can save you from bringing more home than just souvenirs. Because what you don't see on a plane can definitely stick with you. 10. Why everything costs a fortune after security. You're hungry. Your flight is delayed. And the only food in sight is a sad sandwich for $14. Welcome to airport pricing. Inside an airport, everything feels overpriced bottled water. Snacks, magazines, even cheap souvenirs. A granola bar costs as much as a meal. A t-shirt costs more than a week of groceries. Why? Because once you pass security, you're trapped. Your options disappear. You can't just walk to another store. Airports know you're tired, hungry, stressed, and out of time, and they price accordingly. You're not just paying for food. You're paying for convenience, location, and lack of choice. The solution is simple, but rarely followed: pack snacks. Bring an empty bottle and fill it safely later. A little preparation can save you a lot of money and a lot of frustration. 11. The lost suitcases that become someone else's treasure. Ever wonder what happens to bags that are never claimed? They don't sit in a dusty storage room forever. After a certain amount of time, unclaimed luggage is sent to auction. Yes, real auctions. And no one opens the bags first. It's a massive game of mystery boxes. Buyers have no idea what's inside. It could be designer clothes, or old flip-flops, or something truly bizarre. Stories range from valuable electronics to completely useless junk, even taxidermy animals. Once your bag reaches that point, it's no longer yours. It becomes someone else's gamble. So the next time you check a bag, remember this. If it disappears long enough, your suitcase might end up as a stranger's unexpected surprise. 12. The airport lounges you think aren't for you. You've seen them. Quiet airport lounges tucked away from the chaos. Plush chairs, free snacks, calm lighting. And you probably thought, that's for rich people, not for me. Here's the secret: you're wrong. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need elite frequent flyer status. Many airport lounges sell day passes for a relatively small fee, and some credit cards, even ones with no annual fee, include complimentary lounge access. You just have to know where to look. Instead of sitting at a noisy gate with a $5 coffee and nowhere to charge your phone, you could be sipping a free cappuccino in a reclining chair surrounded by silence. So next time you have a long layover, check your credit card benefits or your Airlines app. That peaceful lounge might be much closer than you think. 13. Why early landings are often a lie. You hear the announcement, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived ahead of schedule." It feels like a win. You smile. You relax. You think the airline did a great job. But here's the truth, you probably didn't land early at all. Airlines often use a tactic called padded flight times. They quietly add extra minutes sometimes, even extra time blocks to the scheduled duration of a flight. Why do they do this? Because even if a flight runs late, it can still appear to arrive on time. And if it arrives early, their performance stats look even better. On paper, it's a success. For passengers, it feels like good service. But in reality, the clock was adjusted long before you ever boarded the plane. So the next time you celebrate an early landing, remember this, you weren't early, you were managed. 14. Yes, your pilot may be asleep. You're cruising at 35,000 feet. The cabin is calm. The engines hum steadily. Everything feels under control. Here's the twist, your pilot might be asleep. And no, this isn't dangerous. It's actually standard procedure on long-haul flights. Pilots are allowed to take controlled rest periods either in specially designed hidden compartments or in their seats, while the co-pilot and autopilot maintain the flight. These rest schedules are strictly regulated. Why does this matter? Because a well-rested pilot is a safer pilot. Would you rather have your captain alert during landing or exhausted after hours of non-stop flying? So if the pilot is napping mid-flight, it doesn't mean something is wrong. It means the system is working exactly as intended. 15. The empty planes that fly on purpose. Have you ever seen a plane take off with barely anyone on board? It's not your imagination. That was a ghost flight. Airlines sometimes operate flights with very few or even zero passengers, not because they want to, but because they have to. It all comes down to airport slot rules. Airlines are assigned specific takeoff and landing times called slots. If they don't use those slots, they risk losing them to competitors, and those slots can be incredibly valuable. So instead of canceling a flight and giving up that time slot, airlines will sometimes fly an almost empty plane just to keep it active. It's inefficient, it's expensive, and it feels completely absurd. But in the long run, keeping that slot matters more than the cost of a single empty flight. So if you ever feel like the only person at the gate, you might not be imagining it. You could be boarding a plane that's flying almost entirely for paperwork. 16. The worst bathroom in the entire airport. You've just landed. The seatbelt sign turns off. Everyone jumps up at the same time, and instinctively, the crowd moves toward the first bathroom they see. Big mistake. That arrival area bathroom is usually the busiest, dirtiest, and most stressful bathroom in the entire airport. Every passenger from your flight, and often a few flights before, rushes there at once. Long lines, wet floors, empty paper towel dispensers. But here's the simple trick almost no one uses: keep walking. Just a little deeper into the terminal, you'll find bathrooms that are cleaner, quieter, and far less crowded. Same airport, same facilities, completely different experience. Waiting 60 more seconds can turn post-flight chaos into something almost civilized. Sometimes the smartest airport move is simply not following the crowd. The next time you step into an airport, remember this: nothing there is random. Every seat, every sound, every shortcut is part of a system designed to guide you without you noticing. Now that you know these secrets, you travel smarter, calmer, and more aware. If this video changed the way you see airports, share it with someone before their next flight. And don't forget to subscribe, because the more you know, the better you travel.